Welcome back. It's still entertainment review on Metro TV. We are live on DSTV channel 277, live on Facebook and YouTube, Metro TV Ghana. Well, our first guest is AFUA Sam, and she's an international and remarkable fashion designer and the founder and owner of Studio De Maxi Designs and A Concept by AFUA Sam. AFUA Sam is dedicated to making unique styles in the modern day, classy, funky, and very, very fashionable. Today, we'll find out the inspiration behind her works, her achievements, and other things. So, good afternoon. Okay, so if okay, so Efwa has, worked or has over 20 years of experience. Efwa, welcome to the show. Welcome to Metro TV Entertainment Review, on a table of life. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so for someone who has over 20 years of experience, but didn't study fashion, didn't go to a fashion school, first off, what actually sparked the love for going into the fashion industry?
I didn't even know I would become a fashion person.
Okay.
You know, but I know that I've always been creative, and I do all kinds of creative stuff.
Yeah.
But one day I just got up and I said, I want to create something. So I started. And I was fascinated by architecture, shapes, designs. And sometimes when I see this foreign magazine with like dresses, I kind of sit there and imagine how I can create this dress and draw everything in my head and try and cut it on a piece of fabric.
Yeah.
So that's how I started.
You started. Let's go back, even though you didn't study fashion or go to a fashion school, you did something. What's your background? Just give us a brief background about whom Efua Sam is and what did she do? We know you are now into fashion, but what other things did you do before venturing into fashion?
Actually, I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything. So when you went to school, what did you study?
I studied English, maths.
Okay.
I wanted to be a philosopher or something.
Okay.
But I got married at a very, very young age, and so that changed the course of everything.
Yeah.
And when things didn't go the way it's supposed to go,
Yeah.
I just delved down into me and see what can I do.
Yeah.
After this part of my life that didn't work out. So
Yeah.
fashion came through. So that's what
Wow.
happened. I think sometimes when in our darkest place
Yeah.
or places that you're hopeless and you don't know what to do, something good comes out. So
Yeah.
that's what came out.
Okay.
So
I just discovered that I could.
Wow, it's good. I've gone to your page. We'll talk about her achievements.
Yeah, and some are even on the screen right now.
On the screen
as
right
she's
now,
speaking,
yeah. But then over the years, what will you attribute your success to in terms of being in the fashion industry?
I think it's mostly dedication
Okay.
and focus. And also when you decide to do something, you have to stick with it. When I realized that I could do fashion or create stuff, when I went over there, I did not do anything. Like there were other professionals, like nursing and all kinds of, but I told myself I want to stay with the creative people, like work with people who design, or I was sewing at the background of some companies and creating stuff for them, but my name wasn't on it.
Yeah.
And at some point, I saw some of the things I've created, like unique something that I created, but their name was on it, and it was on the Washington Post or something. So from those days, I realized, man, I can do this. If something that I did from scratch, but it's for somebody and it's in the Washington Post, that's really something encouraging to spark something in me. And also, at the time, sometimes when I go out in the summertime, people ask me what I'm wearing because I used to create stuff for myself. And they would normally ask you, did you buy it from Nordstrom or Bloomingdale, which at that time they were it still is like one of the expensive store. So that's why I said, yeah, I can get to this. I can get into
You
it.
could do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, what would you say after pricing fashion designing for a while now? What would you say is your favorite part of fashion design?
Wow. I love every part of it because I get to work with different people. I collaborate with a lot of people. I travel doing fashion. Like I've done some photo shoots in Paris, London, and any other place I travel to. I think I've done some here too.
In Ghana.
Yes. So the fun part is those, and I think the main important thing is to use my fashion to support a lot of causes, because I got into a lot of nonprofits, like people who support organizations that support breast cancer, education. And so that is one of the things I love doing, and also helping people. Like at the time when I started, I met so many people like stylists,
Okay.
photographers, models. And so we collaborate, and then sometimes they need your help. So I use my fashion to help out. And then, so we all grow together.
Okay.
So those are what I love about what I
Love
do.
about it.
Okay.
Now, you've been in the States, you've been in Ghana. How do you describe the fashion industry of both countries? Well, maybe outside the States, Europe, and that in Ghana. What would be your description?
I would say, I think because I left for so long, and when I come here, normally I come because of family, so I didn't get too much
Okay.
into the fashion here. But looking at social media, and I can see that we're really, really doing well. There's so many people who are very creative here in Ghana and Africa as a whole. So sometimes I know that we do well, but there are little things that we need to focus on.
Okay.
Like I think to know your niche,
Yeah.
to know, like, let's say if you start and you want to be a casual chic designer or a evening wear and all those things. It's so important to know those things in order to branch into the area that you want to be.
Okay. Great. I mean, we've been talking about some fashion stuff for a while here on the show. We've spoken to Elikem Kumoji,
Yeah.
some other people who do some kente stuff, and they talk to us about fashion from the Ghanaian lens, and that's what I was asking, from the lens of someone who's been outside the country.
yeah.
What has it also, been like for her and all that? So you're still watching Entertainment Review here on Metro Television. We're still on with our first conversation here with AFUA Sam, and then verse we'll talk about everything, that is
What
trending
has
also.
been
Yeah, what
trending?
has
But
been-
then,
what has
before let
been
me
trending.
come back from
Okay.
what Desi said in terms of representation. How often do you see Ghanaian culture represented well on the international front?
Before it wasn't a lot. Like you don't see, like when I started in Washington D.C., there wasn't any Ghanaian per se that I could say that I see them together with me what I was doing, because I got into the system very quickly. But from there you could see that people were gradually getting involved, because I think there were a lot of people who were designers, but they were afraid to get out, because you think like you're a foreigner, so you don't want to get out. But I didn't put myself in a box. I just decided to, put myself out there. So those times there wasn't, but now I think there's so many people who I actually have a friend who does a lot of the strategies that connect people from here to there for people to know what African luxury is.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some friends who do that.
Great. Wrapping up on this, I just want to ask, it may sound very basic, but what is fashion? Because people think, people see others dress and hey, you're a fashion, this thing that you're wearing is a fashion. So I want to ask you, what is fashion to you?
To me, fashion is whatever you wear that look good on you.
Whatever you wear,
To me, that's what fashion is. Because if fashion is only fashion when it looks good on you. And also, I think sometimes people will say that, oh, this is a mistake or it doesn't look. But fashion is whatever you create that look different from the norm is fashion. for me, anything in fashion, it could be a mistake. Or maybe you're cutting a shape that the shape didn't fall like the way it fall, but it's still something different that somebody can wear that look good. So for me, if you wear it and you look good, it's fashion to me.
Okay, well, then one last one, I would want to find out, before you personally create something, like what you're wearing today, you have some colors in there, you have curry, you have more or less like pink and all that. What do you consider before you even create an outfit or a design?
I consider the fabric, and also like the occasion where I'm wearing it to. And sometimes, the designs also flows whilst I sit down behind my machine and start to sew. But I think all these things come to play, the fabric, the colors you want to put together, and especially what is the occasion for this.
So the equation is very important when you want to create.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, thanks for coming. But then finally, your brand, if you check your achievements, you are noted worldwide. But in Ghana, I think the people know, let me say, we don't really know much of AFUA Sam. Do you have any plans? Because everything that we are seeing on social media and your bio is like you're noted internationally. Do you have any plans of coming to Ghana, setting up something, or collaborating with our fashion designers here in Ghana?
I always wanted to come and do something.
Okay.
But I think now that I'm here, that I feel like I'm accepted here, that will motivate me to come.
Okay.
And I would love to do something here.
Yeah. We'll also love to see more of you, and I wouldn't mind rocking whatever you're wearing. Oh, yeah. Why are you laughing?
Thank you so much.
Anyways, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you so much for coming.
We had an international, remarkable fashion designer, AFUA Sam, and she is the founder and owner of Studio De Maxi Designs and also A Concept by AFUA Sam.